I'll see if I can throw it in there. But in the meantime, it looks like we are off and running. Heading into prologue here. A quick rundown on some of the basics before we start ascending this beautiful mountain. Madeline has a jump. She can climb and grab things too, and thanks to her buddy, the little crow here, that'll show up momentarily, she'll have a dash. And we're going to utilize these tools so that we can basically climb the mountain. Also, a few notes. One, it is based off in-game timer, so you're going to want to pay attention to those. We will have those up and running. They are in between the cassettes for each runner. Alright, so vorpal is heading in. Looks like we have an audio desync here on vorpal's stream, unfortunately. Alright, so I'm gonna talk over. A quick rundown here. I wish I could get this figured out. So, Chapter 1 is going to showcase some of the basics here. Seeing a lot of beautiful tech, but if you guys have been following along on this tournament, this is all second nature to you by now. And vorpal is going to finish out. We had a 2 minute and some change here. We'll see. Texter also coming in 205. So vorpal moving along on to chapter 2. I see you, Icon. I'm not gonna fall for it again. Sorry, folks. I trying to get this settled here, figuring out what to do. In the meantime, vorpal moving through his battle line section, and Texter also. They're about in the same spot. Again, in-game timer is what's really going to matter here. Oh my gosh, vorpal! Oh my gosh, my heart! Nice save there. Holy Toledo! All right. So it looks like Texter is slightly ahead based on IGT. Oh no, vorpal slamming into the little nooks and crannies there. Alright, Texter is going to move onto the awake section. As vorpal is as well. All right, so we're gonna keep on moving and grooving here. For the awake section, there's just a lot of uneven terrain, so runners are really gonna have to try to optimize and keep their momentum and try not to slam into any of these walls here. Texture getting out at a 426. We'll see where Vorpal's at here. It looks like he's gonna come in at a 443. So not too far apart, but as we move into chapter 3, this is where either leads are gonna extend or change. So buckle up, everybody, as we head into my favorite chapter. Pretty sure all of you guys are fully aware of that by now, but we're moving into Celestial Resort. One of the best songs in the game, Don't At Me. But of course the entire soundtrack is fire, so... But we got our dust bunnies. And we have our keys making their debut, and a bunch of other lovely things to get in Madeline's way as she continues her ascent up the mountain. For the most part, what's the difference between this stage and the first two is that it's noticeably longer. There's going to be a lot of longer rooms, which means deaths near the end of the rooms are going to be more damaging to each player's run. And you're going to see a lot of tech and a lot of cool tricks here. So, but Texter's moving along nicely. Vorpal as well, getting to his first lockbox here. So, off the bat, you got 2 keys as you make your way to the huge mess. Oh man, Icon, I'm sorry, but like if we were gonna go off of B-sides, maybe you haven't been introduced to chapter 4, because that song is a heater, let me tell you. This is the only stage where like I didn't get angry from all the deaths because the music was so relaxing. Alright, so Texter is now moving through, getting ready to grab his second key. Vorpal as well in the lock switch portion. Remember, for these lock switches, you have to hit them all to make that nice brick get out of the way so we can continue. So they're about a screen apart from each other. But time-wise, again, we're going to go ahead and keep on going here. Alright, so in the huge mesh portion, we gotta do a lot of cleaning up so we can get this key. Texter coming in at 621. Let's see where Vorpal's gonna be at. Coming in at 640, so still moving along at a decent pace. Again, any rough patches from Texter will give Vorpal the opportunity to get a lead here as they move through. Texter missing his spike jumps. This is that opportunity that Vorpal is looking for. Vorpal getting his on third try as Texter is moving in towards the second run. So one thing about Huge Mess is that the player is given the option of tackling each of these materials as they want to. Runners have a specific route because at the end of each section it's the closest to Oshira that we can get to. So therefore, we do the crates first, followed by books, and then the blankets and towels last. As when you exit, Oshiro is literally like right there on the same screen as Madeline. Alright, so Vorpal unfortunately taking some deaths here in the book section. Texter's going to grab his book and keep on moving. As he heads into the towel section here. Vorpal moving along nicely. He's going to hit that googly block. Texter taking a death here. Oh, now he's turning into the death cycle, having to adjust his strats. So in chapter 3, cycles are a huge part of the game, which is, I think, the only part of the game where cycles matter, if I'm not mistaken. That in 1500. So you have the cycle when you enter, and then you have the cycle when you have a death. And although it's very subtle, it's big enough to where the runners have to adjust to make sure that they don't run into some of the hazards. In some rooms, it's not possible to actually re-enter to get that old cycle that they want. For example, during the Oshiro portion. So we'll see how the runners handle that when they get there, as the Texter moving through the elevator shaft, gunning for that presidential suite. Vorpal hot on his tails here. Still with the in-game time a little bit behind. But again, anything can happen. Texter's zooming along here. Playing it a little safe on that part. So we got this area where you can wall bounce, or you have the option of dashing up forward, as you see Texter pulling off right there. Oh, these guys are pretty neck and neck right now. Alright, Texter going for his key opportunity, taking a death. Another one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. He gets it. He's going to hop right back out. As vorpal gets ready to do his key portion. Let's see how he does. 1, 2, 3. Oh man, number 3 coming out of nowhere. And this time number 4. Third time's the charm. He's gonna get it. Oh, he gets it. Nicely done. Oh, okay. I thought he didn't grab the key. I got a little terrified. That would have been very unfortunate. But he gets it and is moving forward. As Texter is in the Oshiro portion of the fight. So here, Oshiro is trying to get you to stay at his lovely hotel for probably all eternity. And he's going to do it by trying to eat you. He's going to give away a visual cue of a lightning bolt, and he's going to zoom across the screen, eyeing on Madeline's X coordinate, or maybe Y coordinate, I don't know. I'm bad with those types of things, so bear with me. But Texter doing very well, as vorpal is also not in the presidential suite portion. Texter automatically going for retry, getting that death cycle here. This is one of the areas where you will have somewhat of a split between runners. Runners will either try to come in and do the normal route. Some actually opt to select retry, because that's what they're more comfortable with. And as you see, that was the right move from Texter as he clears out, coming in at a 1032. Thanks, Speak. That was Y chord. This is why you don't ask me for like directions. If we were to ever like meet up and be like, "Can you tell me how to get somewhere?" I'm probably not gonna be able to tell you. All right, so vorpal, getting clipped by Oshiro there. Oh, again, he's a little low on the crystals there, so he's clipping that that corner, but he gets out. Vorpal also opting for the death cycle of the last room here. But unfortunately, there are more deaths waiting for him as those dust bunnies are coming out of nowhere to pick him off. And now, Texter increasing his lead as he heads into Golden Ridge. Oh, vorpal taking a death there. Let's see. Third time's the charm, right? Alright, so he looks like he's going to make it. We'll see. So a couple more jumps here. Playing it safe. He is out at 11:52. Alright, so Texter moving through, choosing the optimal, or not optimal, the traditional route on those lock switches. Staying at the clouds here. So Golden Ridge, what's unique about this level is nearly every screen has a way to save time compared to the casual or traditional way of running the level. As Texter takes a death there, missing his dash and flying headfirst into those spikes. So you got like spike jumps. All this little tech here will just lower your time tremendously, but you run the risk of missing some of the techniques, and that in turn will add to your time as well. So Texter handling it very well as vorpal begins his ascent through the ridge. Going to come across an auto scroller skip here. We'll see if Texter's going to go for it. Getting prepared. No, he's actually going to ride this one out, literally. As he moves forward. That actually would be an opportunity if vorpal goes for it and gets it. He will be able to save a little bit of time and play catch up here. Especially with Texter taking a death on this screen. It's a tricky dash jump that you have to, or hyper dash off of that block. You don't have a lot of room to work with, and wind is against your back. But he nails it there. Alright, so Texas is going to keep on moving and grooving here. Vorpal now making his way up. Opting to not take the wall bounce approach here. Playing it a little safe. But it looks like trying to go for wall bounce is there. Let's see. Okay, nicely done. As he gets ready to go for his auto scroller skip. Let's see if he's going to go for it or not. Texter going for the second auto scroller here. We'll see if he's going to ride that block out or if he's going to just keep going. Oh, he takes the skip. And vorpal opts to not. All right. Both runners are moving along very well here. Excuse me. Techs are heading to the final screen before we get to, I forgot the actual name of it, but it's basically the, I like to call it the high wind section, because the wind is unrelenting here. I like to call it the boss of Chapter 4, because it is the home stretch. Madeline's got the wind just zooming in her face, making her lips all extra chapped. Hopefully she's got chapstick on her. But also we have these snowballs as well. They act in a similar fashion to Ashiro, where they're going to come flying at Madeline's Y coordinate. There is no visual tell or an audio tell. It's basically set on a timer that the runners can get a feel for. One thing that they have to be careful for is when they get towards the end of the screen, a snowball could come out of nowhere and take them out. And the closer they are to that transition, the harder it is to react, but that is not an issue for Texter. He is 3 screens out before he starts making his way towards the temple. Vorpal working his magic on the vertical section here before he gets into the high wind portion of Chapter 4. And he is getting ready to go as Texter finishes up, taking that berry with him into the gondola. Coming in at a 14:35. Oh, Vorpal taking a death there. But recovering very nicely. As Texter begins his Mirror Temple run. Quick rundown on that. Is we got these red bubbles. You see in Chapter 4 we got these green ones. They kind of push Madeline out as if it was an extra dash. In Chapter 5 you have the red ones which go indefinitely until you dash out of them or they run into an object like this switch. So runners are going to be using these to fly through portions of this maze-like area. Although it is a maze and it's easy to get lost, the route is pretty much optimized on where to go. We're going to see the most important skip in the game. I mean, that might be unpopular opinion to some of you, but that would be the search skip. You'll see if Texter's going to go for it. But also there's a few other places too where you can save a little bit of time by using those dash blocks to get some nice momentum here. See if Texter's going to go for it. Nice opting to go the traditional way. Somewhat. Didn't even use the dash block there. Alright, now Vorpal is out of Chapter 4, heading into Mirror Temple 2. Text is getting ready. He's going to find this developer shortcut, which actually allows the player to get a secret item. Which we won't go into because I don't like to spoil things for people. And now, Texter in the most stressful room of Chapter 5, in my opinion. It's coming up right here. We got these saw blade looking things here. And one mistiming of your dash into that bubble is death and lots of time lost. But he handles that perfectly as he gets ready to go through the secret tutorial. Vorpal working his way through the beginning of Mirror Temple as well. Running into a little bit of problems here trying to get that dash jump or the hyper. But he is successful and is going to make his way to his key. Texter flying through on these seekers. As you can see, they got a dash and they like to eat Madeline. So a little bit of foreshadowing as we head into the next portion here with Madeline. Lots of little cutscene skips here. And Vorpal now moving his way through, getting to those rooms. Going the traditional route here on this room, but he gets it like it's nothing. As he gets ready to enter that long corridor. Let's see how he handles this. Oh, he's got a few screens, my bad. But he takes the intended shortcut too, and he's going to move along. Now he's in that long corridor. As Texter begins his chance through the Seeker Realm. Handling it very nicely. These Seekers are just intent on taking Madeline out. They just do a beeline attack. You can pop on them, as you see right there. And we can also use them to activate those lock switches, as you see right there as well. Texter put on a great showcase of what we can do with these Seekers as he progresses to the final part and gets sandwiched between that red block and the Seeker. Gonna have to take a death there. Vorpal now in his secret tutorial section. All lock switches are taken care of and no seekers in sight. So Texas is going to move forward into the search area. And we're going to hopefully see the search skip live and in person. So he's going to make his way through. So the gist on search skip, you are going to do a reverse dash jump. And take that as long as you can. And then you're going to dash up forward to make it safely. And save yourself a good minute and a half. Or 2 minutes, depending on the skill of the runner. Now he's getting ready to run into Theo. There's a few more screens for he's there. Vorpal now trying to get through. Oh no, dashed and missed his block there. Gonna have to take a death and start over. And he gets through. Texter one screen away before running into Theo. He's there. Look at all those eyes just staring at everybody. Alright, so let's run through Theo real quick. Theo, in his mischievous ways, ends up getting in trouble and entrapped in a crystal. And it's up to Madeline to carry him to safety. But unfortunately, as strong as Madeline is, being able to lift a full-grown man encased in quartz or whatever you want to call it, she can't use her dash. So the runners are going to be throwing Theo, dashing and catching him, basically playing catch with themselves. And we do that to keep the momentum of our dashes. And maybe get a little bit of a nice boost here. We'll see if we can get this one off here on this dash block. Gets a nice momentum, but it's actually possible to clear that section too. Also, Rip Seeker, get wrecked, stay free. Alright. So Texter moving along very nicely here. He could get a sub 6 if this room treats him kindly. Oh, he's moving a groove. Alright, he's in that final corridor here. We got these sound waves. They're going to try to push Madeline back. Similar to Awake, I would say that you can't die in here, but I know that there's been instances where I've died. Or I've had to force a restart. For example, having those doors closed in between Theo and myself, I've had it happen a few times. But Texter's out with a sub 6, looking like a 524, I think. Nicely done. Vorpal, unfortunately, not getting the Seeker to destroy that brick and opting to retry. But unfortunately, that Seeker had other plans too, as he nips him on that dash. He's going to go for another try here. Gets it. And he is out ready to tackle Theo as Texter moves along into Chapter 6 for the reflection portion of the game. As you see, we got this feather mechanic that turns Madeline into a beam of light, I guess. I don't really know what you'd want to call it. And by doing that, you can navigate omnidirectional. So you can use the analog stick for any controller-based player. Keyboarders do not have that luxury, unfortunately, but they make the best of it and they do it well. In fact, I commend them because I have tried playing this on keyboard, and the feathers is probably the most difficult aspect of the game. But we also have these crush blocks, aka Kevin blocks, where when you slam into them, they make a beautiful lullaby noise. I know it's not as good as Kevin's, but I figured I'd do it. And they fly in one direction until they run into a wall. And they can crush Madeline, so gotta be mindful of that. The Texter's making the way very nicely. As Vorpal taking a death there, unfortunately. Struggling a little bit in this room. Dealing with this rogue Seeker. Ooh, he got corner bopped there, but was able to recover. Nice adjustment on his part. Theo being uncooperative as always. Alright, so Texter is moving through a portion where runners have the option of either moving the top route or the bottom route. Most runners will opt for top portion, except for one screen, which is going to be coming up here. But Texter handling it very nicely. Alright, a vorpal now getting into the final screen of Chapter 5. Oh, Texter trying to skip that block by taking a death. Covers nicely, he's going to keep moving here. And we got these bumpers here. Basically, they will shoot Madeline in the opposite direction. People have mentioned that they are probably the closest thing to RNG that we could get in the game. Because sometimes you feel like, no, I definitely hit it where I want to go. And they're just like, nah, we're going to send you in a different direction. Sorry. Alright, so Texter getting to this last portion here. Scot-free. As he prepares to locate Madeline and get ready to start that battle there. Vorpal just getting his reflection underway. He missed that feather, unfortunately. Also, I should note, with those feathers encased in the bubbles, a dash is required to break them, but if you touch them, you will get your dash back. I'm not sure if Vorpal is aware of that or not. He could have, like, bumped into it, bouncing off that wall, and then could have dashed into it to continue on there. But he gets out of there and is getting ready to go through the lake portion. As Texter opting to go the traditional route, it looks like. And he is out. Getting ready to see if we're going to see a battle and boost here or not. Before we're going up, he's going to start making his ascent up this giant wall here. Having to use the neutral jumps to get there because he ran out of stamina. Oh, no. Alright, he's out. He's clear. And Texter is beginning his battle and fight, folks. Let's see those heyos in the chat. You guys know the deal. Battlein is telling Madeline, listen, you're not a mountain climber. Let's just go home. We can chill in front of the TV, play some video games, and just veg out. And Madeline's like, no, I need to do this, and we're going to do this. So that's like the internal conflict here. And basically, the runner's goal is to come in contact with Battlein every step of the way. When he gets to the end of the room, she's going to smash through a wall and continue the fight elsewhere. Of course, we got these blocks that are going to come down, and everything's riddled with spikes, and Battlein has 2 attacks. She's got these orbs that she'll shoot at the player, as well as a laser. But runners generally don't really run into a problem with that. This section is somewhat optimized in the fact that, you know, it's easy to just set yourself up so you don't have to deal with Badeline's lasers or any of that sort. There might be like 1 or 2 rooms that might become a thing. But Texter is a few screens away before we run into round 2 of this fight, as Vorpal continues to make his climb, grabbing his feather and progressing very nicely here. Nice reverse dash jump there from Texter to opt out of taking that bumper, saving a little bit of time there. And also avoiding that laser, staring death in the face. As he makes his way through the final room of the first round, quote unquote, of this fight. So you got a little intermission here when Battlelin's like, hey, listen, I'm trying to do you a favor. You're not a mountain climber. Let's go home. And Madeline's like, nope. We'll start round 2 right now. As Vorpal is a few screens away before the chase in the ravine section. Oh, dashing and actually grabbing the wall there. He's going to make his way through. Alright, now Texter in the second to last screen. As Vorpal enters the ravine, we'll see how he's going to handle this one and take those, if he's going to take those intended shortcuts or not. Taking the first one, taking the second one, opting for the third one with no checkpoint, and he don't need that. He's like, I got this. I've been around this rodeo a few times. I know what I'm doing here. And Texter on the last screen here. One more laser to get out of the way. And he is out. He's going to go level up and get ready for the Summit Ascent here shortly. Vorpal getting ready for his Battle Line fight. Looks like no Battle Line boost. Oh, Battle Line boost light. Okay, I'll take it. And thus begins his fight with Battle-In. Alright. So Texter finishing up chapter 6 out of 2746. I'll scroll through the chat because I put the PBs at the top. Texter is on a 3844, so he is in striking distance. It can happen. We'll have to wait and see. A very clean summit will give him the opportunity to finish off the group portion with a personal best. As Vorpal is working his way through. Oh, taking a death there from those orbs. And again. And a third time. Oh my gosh. Nicely. Had to do a little bit of adjusting there, but he gets away with it. Alright, I'm going to take a quick peek at the challenge bracket here, just to see if how their group is. Give me 1 second as you see Texter working his way through the CD portion of Summit. Summit is like the final area of a Mega Man game, in the sense that you are running into basically all of the stages one more time. But we are equipped with an extra dash, and the mountain utilizes that by making all of the areas a little more dicey. You know, a lot of gaps that you have to cover with both dashes, some narrow patches ways here, as shown in Texas screen. Vorpal making his way through, narrowly dodging that laser there. Woo! He's got his last vertical screen before he heads into round 2 of this fight. Alright, Texter having to wait for the block so we can get to the 1000 portion here. Alright, so Zimpars and Texter. I'm trying to see where they played, I can't find it. Forgive me. Alright, so Icon beat Texter, which means in a tiebreaker sense, it's gonna go to Icon. For Vorpal, I'm sorry, not Vorpal, my mistake. Zimpars versus Texter. I get my names all messed up. My bad. Interesting. So Texter beat Zimpars. So if I'm not mistaken, and actually do not quote me on this because I could be completely wrong, but I believe with this if Texter can clinch out a victory here, we're gonna have a 3-way tie for 4th seed. And if I remember correctly, I believe that's supposed to be dealt with a 3-way race. So it's gonna be really interesting since we have Texter beating Zimpar's, iCod beating Texter, and I'm assuming Zimpar's beat iCod. But you know what? Let me get off. Let me get off of that. I'm trying to overthink this. We got the here and now that's going on. And vorpal is in summon as Texter's in 2000. Making his way through, dodging these annoying snowballs as best as he can. So he gets this auto scroller here. We're going to see if he's going to go for the skip. As vorpal enters the battle in alley-oop section. And he gets through a flying colors. Is going to make his way up to 500 here. Texter opting to not take the auto scroller skip there, which is perfectly fine. Alright, Texter zooming through 2000. Just a few screens away before he is in the clear for 2500. vorpal also making excellent work of his 500 portion here. Alright, Texter getting in that battle in the alley-oop section here, handling it very nicely. We got the wind coming and going as it pleases. That is ain't no thing to him as he's in the clear. Heading into 2500. Again, still on pretty decent pace here. If he can have a clean 2500, we might see a PB, which I would love, as the final game of the group play is right here, folks. vorpal, taking a death there on those dream blocks, unfortunately. He is out, heading into the lock switches here. Texter gets through this long screen with some very nice dashes. And looks like he's going for the key skip. 1, 2. Let's try it again. Oh, 1, 2. No. Maybe I shouldn't count him off. Oh, look at that. He gets it, and he's moving on. Now, vorpal through the dream blocks once again. Making his way through a few screens before he gets to his battle line boost section. Or, I'm sorry, alley-oop section. I'm getting my terminology mixed up. I apologize. And make his way into 1500 here. But Texter getting his door skip, y'all. Let's go. Making it through this last vertical portion before he hits 3000. And you know what that means? Chat, if you can, type in those numbers as he makes that climb. Right. Texter's in the clear, heading into 3000. See how vorpal handles his 1500. Taking a death into the first somewhat long room. 1500 is relentless on summon, and again, it is chapter 3, so our dust bunnies are back. Basically, it's a mix of like a bunch of short rooms and long rooms. And again, death cycles come into play. Oh, he gets out of that. So we got a short room here. Clearing that one. This room, oh, those dust bunnies are guarding that lock switch for their life, and now we go into our long section here again. Taking a death, but Texter now heading into Summit, and he's in the downdraft portion, making his way. I think he knows he is up for a PB, tackling this very aggressively. So he hits these horizontal springs. He's got a few more flags to go before he's out. And he's making that ascent into the updraft portion. vorpal running into a little bit of problem here in this Dust Bunny section. Ooh, nearly gave him death. Shoutouts to Franker Z, rest in peace, homie. As he makes it through, skipping that strawberry, of course, because strawberries do not matter in an 80% run. Oh, what happened there? Did you hit retry? Wow, just kind of running into everything under the sun right now. But that is 1500. There's so many hazards every which way. Runners have to be very careful, and execution needs to be top-notch. They want to get through it very cleanly. Vorpal's out. He's getting into 2000 as Texter is moving into flag 13. The last instance of our lock switches. Got 3 of them to deal with. Let's see. 1, 2, and 3. Opting to take the spring there to get his boost back. And he is out. Vorpal now grabbing his second strawberry. I would say the requirement for an any percent is 2, but there's no such thing. There's just 2 strawberries that are like in the way of our run. But you can get more. You can get up to 3, I think. But Texas moving along very nicely. Again, his PB, if I remember correctly, 38:44. So he has about a minute. It's definitely doable. His last section is going to need to be really tight. See if we can pull it off here. I think he knows that the PB is in reach. He is moving very aggressively through this portion. 2 dashes onto flag 3, where dreams are shattered and or made. Oh, he gets it. Oh, it's gonna be close. All right, he needs to just finish this off. Picture perfect. And I guess that's my final commentary curse of the group play. I am so sorry, Texter. I take full responsibility. But no, it's not over yet. Let's see. You got 10 seconds. Now he's being a little more cautious, but I think he could get a little more aggressive. 3, 2, 1. Oh no. I don't know. It's going to be milliseconds if he got it, but Texter is your winner. Coming in at a 38:44.83. I see the red font on his number, so it looks like that was not a PB, but still fantastic outing on his end. And now Vorpal making his way into 2500. All right. So Vorpal now in his Mirror Temple portion. Yeah, that was so close for Texter. Again, I take full responsibility for the stream. I apologize. My commentator cursed. I thought it was gone, but nope. Came back with a vengeance when it counted. Alright, so Vorpal opting to not go for his key skip here. But he navigates through that very well. Grabbing his key and hitting retry to get back down. He makes his way towards the second half of 2500. Ooh, taking that very close. Madeline's feet getting a taste of what those spikes feel like, but not taking a death from it. So we're going to see if he's going to go for door skip. Looks like he is. There's 1. And 2, he got it. The strawberries, they are basically there to make a pie at the end, as you see on Texter's screen. And the more strawberries you have, the more strawberry the pie gets. So, unfortunately, for speedrunners, the pie is very lacking in flavor, at least from a flavor of strawberries. So, but it does look pretty extravagant when you find them all. Also, there is an all red strawberry category too for speedrunning. If you're interested in seeing that, it's pretty spectacular. Well, Vorpal is moving into his summit portion here. Again, if you could be so kind as to count down the flags as Vorpal passes through. Alright, it looks like we're trying to get Texter set up here for an interview. We'll wait and see what happens here as Vorpal begins his final ascent on 30,000. So one of the cool things about the downdraft portion of the game that I really like, that someone had pointed out in a previous race that I commentated, is basically how everybody has a different route. Alright, vorpal getting through the downdraft portion and heading into his updraft section. Alright, I'm gonna have Texter hop in here so we can get a nice little interview here as we watch vorpal finish his up section.
Hey there.
Hello Texter, how's it going?
How's it going?
I'm doing pretty well. Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
Now here's the real deal. I was looking over the challenge bracket, and I see
We got ourselves a three-way tie.
there's a three-way tie. It
Yep.
looks like I gotta find it. What's your group again?
Huge mess.
That's Ben Teasy's group, right?
Yes, Ben Teasy's group, exactly.
All right, cool. So yeah, we got a three-way tie for third, fourth, and fifth. Also, when I was looking at the actual matches, it looks like that you defeated Zinpars.
Yep.
And then ICOD defeated you.
Yep.
I think Zinpars defeated ICOD? Is that
Correct. Correct. So it's a like rock, paper, scissors-y type situation.
Yeah. It's pretty dicey, man. So I was going to congratulate you on moving on, but I think you got one. You got to go through one. Well, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to confirm it because I am not making the rules for this, but I think you're going to have to play a race to make it out. So
That is my understanding as well. And
how do you feel about that?
I'm super nervous. I was really hoping I would beat ICOD yesterday. We had an insanely tight race, ended up being down to 10 seconds. And I actually spent like 30 seconds maybe at least doing the 2,500 meter key skip because I just kind of got tilted and I just like totally couldn't make the jump. And I lost by 10 seconds. And if I had not had that, maybe it would have been closer. But he played amazingly as well. All of our races were super close. Every single race was within 30 seconds of each other. And so I think that's going to be a super tight three-way race.
Oh man, hey listen, I'm gonna ask you for a favor. Can you guys schedule that for if you have to schedule it next week? Can you guys like schedule that on I think it's the 19th because I'm trying to commentate that.
I will try and find out. It's gonna get complicated. We're gonna have to figure out. I know that Zinpaz or ICOD has a very different schedule. I believe, lives in Europe, and so his time frame was like 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. during weekdays, and I'm normally like 7 p.m. to midnight weekdays. So we're gonna have to coordinate. I'm sure we'll have to compromise a little bit here, but it's gonna be intense.
I definitely can't wait for it. vorpal now actually getting close to the end of his summit run. If I remember correctly, his PB is not the same as it is on speedrun.com. I'm not 100% sure if he's on PB pace or not. I
think the best I've seen from him was 48, so he's doing pretty well for himself right now. It sounds like he might finish up around 47, so.
Oh man, are we going to get a PB to close out the group portion of the race? Also, Texter, I will apologize. You were on PB pace. I made note of it, and then you died. So my commentary came in real strong at the end, and I apologize.
Oh no, you're fine. It was super interesting because I actually felt like I made a lot of really like costly mistakes. And I was kind of like, oh man, I'm just so behind. And then I finished and it was like 0.3 seconds off. I was like, oh, okay. Nice. What did vorpal just get? Was that a 46 something or 46.21? That's the best time I've seen out of him.
Okay, so I think that might be a PB on his end. We'll see if we can get him in for an interview too. But I guess since I do have you here, what did you think of the overall group play experience? I mean, like, I guess I should start. Are you like, is this your first time speedrunning or being in a tournament situation?
First time speedrunning, not in a tournament situation. First time speedrunning, period. Celeste is the first game I ran. But I play Towerfall, Matt Thorson's other game, competitively. Okay. So I've played a lot of tournaments in that. And so I'm a huge fan of Matt's, and so I knew I had to do something competitive with Celeste, and so I started speedrunning. Tournament's been really cool. I thought that the fact that 3 of us have been like, it sucks to be in this situation because now I have to race again to move on, but the fact that this situation happened is actually really cool. Like, I'm really excited to be in this 3-way tie, so I think it's super interesting and neat, and I've definitely gotten all my PBs have come through races because I think it just gets that adrenaline going of like, oh dang, I gotta like compete against someone.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have a competitive background too, so I do understand that aspect of it. I definitely had some solid PBs in a couple of the races that I've had myself.
Nice.
And I had a pretty decent improvement. I'm very pleased with it. I started at a 42, and then I'm currently at 38.01.
Nice.
So,
see, 4 minutes. It's insane, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, like with my group, we had so many killers. It is like crazy. There's a guy, a black pair. He started at a 40, like a high 45, and now he's at 35.01.
Oh wow.
So it's like absolutely nuts that he is.
Oh my god.
That guy 10 minutes
blasted ahead. Holy crap.
And then like just the races and everything too in general has been so much fun. They've been very close. I think when me and Black Pair raced, I lost by 8 seconds.
Oh.
And then me and Lucinda's, I lost by 15 seconds. And those are mine to win. I died on flag 4 and flag 3 respectively.
Oh man.
So, but no, it's been really tight. Like,
yeah, I was about to say. So you say like, how much are you? Something that I've been having trouble with is, should I look at how my opponent's doing or not in the middle of a race? How much are you like keeping an eye on the other stream or the person you're racing against? Not at all. Do you do it blind? Do you look? What's going on there?
I do not have that stream open whatsoever. I do not. The closest thing I have would be the Speedrun TV thing. But in that situation, I was so focused, especially during Lucinda's, because I had I was on PB pace to hit sub 40s. I didn't even care about that. I just wanted to get done and get it over with. But I don't have the race up. I don't have my opponents like. I don't want to know where they're at or any of the other things.
Okay.
I think that's a good approach. Some people like that. Some people like having that extra pressure of just kind of like looking over. But my approach for the tournament was basically to pay attention to what my personal best was, and then to like, kind of like gauge it. So like for example, my last race there was like a 2-minute difference between us, and honestly, like if I got a PB of like 30 seconds and then they got like a minute and 30 slower, like we're right into it. So I didn't let it bother me. It was just like, do your run, stay as closest to your PB as possible, and then if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, then better luck next time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it's been a fantastic experience. I've gotten to meet a lot of cool people. It's been an amazing job on doing the commentary. I'm having so much fun doing this. Definitely looking forward to the bracket portion and seeing what everybody else has to offer here. But do you have any closing words before we sign off?
No, I'll make sure to communicate when the 3-way tiebreaker races. It's not necessarily going to be the best performance. We're probably all going to be somewhere between 38 minutes and 41 minutes. But I think it's going to be really tight. Like I said, every single one of those races was within 30 seconds of each other. And so a 3-way race right there where only 2 can move on, I think is really exciting. Has a lot of potential for some cool race there.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. All right, so with that, we are going to wrap this one up. I'd like to thank Texter again on your victory and for joining me in here for the interview portion of the tournament.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it.
Yep. And then I'm just going to do some final closing here, since this, I believe, is the last match of the group play that's going to be on Speed Gaming. So I'd just like to take a moment to give a huge special thanks to Speed Gaming, to all the admins, to all the volunteers that have helped out in getting this set up. I really appreciate all the hard work that you put into it, especially trying to find commentators, getting things up in order. I know it's got to be really difficult with 124 people, especially with all different schedules and everything, but you guys handled that very well, and kudos to you. Also, a huge shout out to TGH and Ben TZ and all of the other guys. I don't remember who they are, I'm sorry, but like Ben, TGH. In fact, let me just go to the Discord. Hold on, I'll pull it up. All right, Ben, TGH, and Scrublord, and everybody over at speedrun.com too. A huge thanks to you guys for putting this together, man. Like, it was very impressive, and I can't wait for the bracket portion to begin and see all the hype and the upsets and all the drama that's coming forth. So we're going to close this one out. And until next time, you guys take care.